Airliners International is a wonderful opportunity to plane spot with fellow aviation enthusiasts. Today, we're going to be doing such at Kansas City International Airport during AI 2024. Despite the size, MCI will prove powerful with several cool catches. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Welcome everybody to the Airliners International 2024 Plane Spotting Meetup at the Kansas City International Airport. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, and today we're going to jump into what happened during the Plane Spotting Meetup, all the planes we got to see, and a little bit more information later on. So I hope each and every one of you are excited for this. Let's not waste any further time, everybody, and go ahead and get started. So a really awesome time getting the spot here at Kansas City. This was my first time doing so, and obviously a much different environment compared to some of the bigger airports we spotted at during Airliners International in the past. But today we're going to make the most out of this situation, as we're going to be spotting from the southwest corner of the parking garage that they have there, and it wasn't the perfect setup for lighting and photography purposes, but again, we're going to make the most out of it here, and a little bit more information later on in the video. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. So two parallel runways here for Kansas City. I believe it's 19 left and 19 right. So here we go. We're on the ones landing today. So on one right, we have this Delta 717 landing. Kansas City does split pretty bad, which is kind of surprising, and what I mean by that is some of the traffic from the east side will land over there, like the 717 from Atlanta, and some traffic on the west will land on that side as well. So it's pretty inconsistent, and you'll see kind of more of what I'm talking about momentarily. But anyway, this Delta 717 coming in, it may have been Detroit or wherever it was, but it's somewhere out there east, Minneapolis. So yeah, anyway, looking good for that aircraft, and ultimately a pretty solid offering. This is where we started here with the Spirit Airbus A320neo, or sorry, A320 normal one rather. They have quite a few flights here to cities like Las Vegas and whatnot. Awesome environment as well. We already had several people here, and the conversations were great. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get as many clips, and again, we'll talk about that more here in a moment. But you got the fire department right there as well, bays 1 through 6 in the background. So unfortunately, it's a really tough airport to plane spot at, and more on that here in a minute. But anyway, I want to look at these aircraft first, and I'll do some more talking. So looking very nice here for the Spirit A320 with the IAE engines. And then they also have Jet Midwest, of course. What an awesome facility. So unfortunately, wasn't able to get any more shots than this. Again, all of this will add up here in a moment, so you'll see what I'm talking about. But this shot's really cool to see. Obviously, that KLM 747, which hopefully the parts are going to good purposes right now, along with all the other aircraft lined up there. But you can also see the old terminal facilities. So there's one of them right there. What a unique concept those were, and really cool to get to see them from above. And fortunately, they're going to be gone pretty soon. So at least glad to get to see what they looked like, and obviously the purpose that they had at MCI. So looking very nice right there. Here is one of the best catches that we had, the Delta Airlines 757-200. You can get a little bit of downtown right there. But anyway, this aircraft coming in from Atlanta for sure. Landed over there on that side, so of course taxiing back over. So looking very nice right there. And one of the major downsides to this spot is that the closest runway from that corner was backlit, so you can see this United 175. Again, really tough environment here, and I think all of you probably know at this point what I'm about to get into, but I just want to knock out the planes first, and then I'll dive into all the details here. Southwest 737-800 taking off as well, so looking very nice right there. I was hoping to get a little bit more light on them coming up, but again, it's all about the add up real quick, so all of you pretty much know what I'm getting to. Delta 717 right here looking very strong. I have the model, this one 935 Alpha Tango, so very cool to get to see it here at MCI. That was an absolute blast, so looking very nice right there. And Southwest has a very large operation in Kansas City. One of the most unique parts is definitely all the glass jet bridges MCI has, but with how nice of a facility they have, it definitely makes sense to have all these nice glass jet bridges. So you can see that there, and always working on the taxiways, runways, and other equivalent projects. We did get to see a handful of Southwest 737s land, like this MAX 8 landing here on runway 1 left, so looking very nice. Now I got the model airport diorama board, so definitely really happy to have that. And there's a Delta CRJ 900 landing on the other side. Lighting was really good over there, but again, we're about to dive into all the details, so you'll find out real quick. Really nice surprise here towards the back half of this Maristar DC-9. This was a super cool aircraft that was completely unexpected, so really awesome to get to see this aircraft here, and ultimately it's looking quite nice. So there it is on short final. It's November 784 Tango Whiskey, which it definitely flew here probably in TWA colors at one point or another, so quite an awesome vibe to think about that. And it has that really cool piece right here as well. So definitely really cool to see that. And ultimately, definitely a very sweet catch right there. So really cool to catch the Maristar DC-9. Again, it's a really, really neat plane. And I haven't seen very many, if any. So this was cool, despite the lighting, of course. So anyway, super great catch. There's Southwest 737 MAX 8 that landed. And there's the Maristar once again, looking very nice. May have to work with some of these. Obviously, you know, shooting backlight's pretty tough. But we'll get into all of that. We're almost there. So just a couple more here to take a look at before we get into the details. Southwest 737 MAX 8 looking very strong right there on short final. very nice aircraft. And the morning spotting here was definitely good. Dreamliner Fan 2016 did get the spot here one of the mornings, and he made a really great video, so I recommend checking that one out. There's the Delta 900 that landed for Endeavor, another Southwest 737, this time a 700 landing in. The views are really good here, so wouldn't mind returning if it works out, but hey, we'll figure it out. There's Southwest 738, American A319 heading over to Dallas most likely, maybe Chicago though, so very cool to see that. There's a Canadian Citation looking very cool right there, so cool to catch that one, and even a Primary 737 freighter, so awesome to get to see this aircraft considering that Prime has a pretty good establishment here at Kansas City Airport, so definitely cool to see that one right there. Alrighty, there's another Southwest 737-800, and we did get a FedEx 767, so traffic was coming in periodically, so that was nice. So there it is, landing in from Memphis, of course, so very cool to see that. The cargo ramp's on the northwest side of the field, so it all made sense for why these aircraft landed over here, so very nice. And there's the touchdown shot looking quite nice. There's the American 175 going very strong, and American 321 landing on the other side, probably from Charlotte or equivalent, so again, very cool to see that. Got some shade for the United 175, so looking strong, and the UPS Airbus E300. And yeah, some of them will even go over there and take off, which is pretty interesting. Was not expecting that, but anyway, they do taxi all the way over to the other side of the airport just to take off too. So pretty impressive. There's the United 175 from Acer. All right, so that's it for the plane spotting. So let's dive into it here. I'm sure all of you probably know what I'm getting to. I want to go back to that Ameristar DC-9. That was pretty sweet, but I'll cycle between some of these as we continue to talk about it. So let me go ahead and get us to that good Ameristar shot. Which one was it? Was it this one? I think, yeah, it was that one. All right, so let me go ahead and get into the details, everyone. So I'm going to start with the backstory so this makes a little bit more sense. First and foremost, the plane spotting locations at Kansas City Airport are less than desirable. There's not many great places to spot. This parking garage has been a great one since they've added it, obviously, with the new airport facility. But otherwise, it's just a couple of fields around the airport. It's in a very rural area, so there's no official observation areas or any equivalent. That being said, of course, with our annual tradition of wanting to do these plane spotting sessions, I made it in every effort that I could to make it happen. So I organized this to the best of my ability, and it wasn't an official event of Airliners International. So what I was told by the director of Airliners International is that we had approval to use the southwest corner of this parking garage for plane spotting, and he said that he went through, made phone calls, and made sure that it got approved. So that was my intent going into it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any documentation signed or any of that would have helped out what I'm about to talk about, but here's what ended up happening. So I think we got about 30 minutes in the plane spotting, if even that, but it was going really great. We had an awesome crowd show up, and again, not really any great places to spot, so this was the one option logistically speaking and for the finances that made sense. Otherwise, we would have had to go all the way out to a field. I can only imagine the logistics cost to make that happen. So with all that established, I thought that this was our best option, especially considering the size of Kansas City Airport. It made sense to do this, but unfortunately, the police did ask us to leave because they were not informed of the plane spotting meetup. So here's the deal on that. So again, no signed documentation, and I'm glad that it happened at an airport like Kansas City to learn that lesson. Obviously spotting in big groups before at larger airports, in fact, groups of 12, 15, 18 people, I didn't think that it was going to be a huge issue after being told that it was talked about through the airport authority. But unfortunately, obviously, that was not the case, as the police were not informed that our plane spotting meetup was going to be taking place at Kansas City Airport on this day at this time. So going forward for the plane spotting meetups, there will be signed documentation if I am to host and or be affiliated with any of these plane spotting meetups. I will not be hosting one if I'm not able to gain the appropriate documentation if on airport property. Obviously, official spotting locations like Founders Plaza and other ones are omitted from that because they're obviously public areas, so nobody's going to mind a large group there. But for example, obviously coming up at Atlanta for Airliners International 2025, going to be working through the process to make that a reality, and obviously sign seal documentation to prevent the problem of what we had at Kansas City. So obviously it wasn't the greatest airport to plane spot at anyways for what you would expect from an airlines convention like this. Now, I'm not saying it's bad if you just want to go up there or live close or whatever else. There are spots, but for a plane spotting meetup, it is not particularly the ideal location. So that's kind of where this was already a struggle to begin with, because finding a location along with, the wind flows and all that, it was all a pretty challenging logistical complication. So this was the best compromise that I could come up with for this particular event. So that being said, I'm really excited for Atlanta next year, as I'm hopeful that we'll be able to find a really awesome location along with some really great plane spotting to be done. fun. So I'm definitely looking super forward to it, and there's going to be a bunch of awesome plane spotting to be had at the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport next summer. So super excited about that. But obviously this spotting meetup was a little bit of a failure, if you want to call it that, but it was still a great time to socialize with everybody, and then we were able to go back to the hotel and hang out for the rest of the night, obviously. So it is what it is, obviously. Like I said, I'm glad that we got to learn this lesson at a small airport instead of Atlanta. That would have been a really unfortunate lesson to learn with how much traffic and so on's going on there. So excited to be able to combat these issues from this learning experience, and documentation is critical going forward. I probably should have known better. At the same time, though, when you're told that it's communicated along with, again, I've spotted in groups of 12, 15, 18 people at large airports before in public observation areas, and I've never had an issue. So again, just wasn't really thinking about it, but it does make sense thinking about it now. The crowd got big really quickly as well, so that's another major factor to keep in mind. So, and obviously so many factors go into it, so I'm going to look at the positive, and the positive here is that everybody was able to make the most of the situation, and we learned a valuable lesson going forward towards Airliners International 2025 in Atlanta. So looking super forward to that, June 25th through 28th, so definitely mark your calendar. I've made the first preparation video for that, so check that one out as well. So yeah, Kansas City just wasn't quite the airport meant to be for plane spotting, but the tours are super great, along with obviously the full ballroom and collectibles show. So what an awesome time it was. It was a super awesome convention, and the videos going forward will be a little bit more obviously relaxed, considering that unfortunately this one did not quite go according to plan, but it is what it is. It happens. So that's kind of where we're at, and JJ has an awesome video with all the footage from the spotting meetup, so definitely check that one out too if you'd like. And if you all would like to see me do a reaction video to that one, let me know as well. I would be happy to do so. But I thought that the spotting pictures obviously were sufficient here. But yeah, definitely a great learning lesson here, and obviously not exactly what I would have expected, but it happens, and we got to take it for what it is, learn from it, and move on to the next one. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I hope each and every one of you are excited for it as well. It's going to be an awesome spotting meetup next year. Not exactly sure when it's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see what day we can do. It looks like Friday. It's already filling up pretty fast for the schedule from what I understand. So might have to be Wednesday night again, which, obviously is not particularly exactly what I would want, but if we can get a large crowd going on Wednesday, that would be awesome. But we'll figure it all out in due time, and I hope all of you are excited for it regardless. But super fortunate that we were able to do the spotting that we were at Kansas City, and again, this is a really great lesson to learn at an airport like Kansas City. We can miss out on some Southwest 737s, it happens. So definitely don't want to be missing out on all those wide bodies at Atlanta though. So excited to get this all figured out, and I hope all of you are excited for it as well. It's going to be awesome, and overall it's going to be a really awesome time. That being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust process. Do what you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.